Dear students, listeners and viewers, Gujarat Technological University welcomes you. My name is Imran Khan. I am an assistant professor of English in Om Engineering College, Junagadh. And today our topic is very interesting. Before we begin, I would like to say that as human beings, we like to listen stories. Whensoever we listen certain stories by our grandmother or grandfather or elder sisters, we do like to listen. Today also we are going to discuss a story. It is a short story. It is from section number B, and the short story is A Snake in the Grass. It is written by R.K. Narayan. His full name is Rasipuram Krishnaswamy Iyer Narayan Swami. Before we begin the story, it is very important to know for us how R.K. Narayan and his writing technique is. R.K. Narayan is one of the prominent Indian writers. Those writers who write in English about Indian society, about Indian culture and Indian people. R.K. Narayan is one of the most prominent and famous Indian English writers. He is a short story writer also, and he is a novelist also. There are certain very famous works by him. You must have heard about Guide movie. It is inspired by a novel written by R.K. Narayan. The title of the novel is also Guide. Like this novel and the story, there was one more very famous novel, Swami and His Friends. This novel has inspired a television serial, Malgudi Days. So to say that R.K. Narayan is one such Indian English writer who has given a different type of scenario to Indian society, and he has presented the Indian culture and society in his own unique style. And today we are going to discuss the story written by him, R.K. Narayan. The story begins like this. First, I read out a paragraph, then I will solve the difficult words, and then we will discuss one by one. The story begins like this. On a sunny afternoon, when the inmates of the bungalow were at their siesta, a cyclist rang his bell at the gate frantically and announced, "A big cobra has got into your compound. It crossed my will." He pointed to its track under the gate and resumed his journey. As you can see, there are few difficult words. First, let us have the meanings of these difficult words, and then we will discuss the paragraph. The first word is sunny. Its meaning is bright with sunlight. The second meaning is inmates, which means people living in. The word siesta, a very interesting word. It means an afternoon rest or nap, means a short sleep, which we usually take after our meal during the afternoon. The other word is frantic. The word frantic means distraught with fear, anxiety means worry or other emotions. Here the word frantic is used as adverb. It is frantically. And the last word in this paragraph is to resume, which means to begin again or continue after a pause or interruption. As you can see, the story begins during the afternoon, means in the midday, and there is a bungalow. Just besides the bungalow, a cyclist he passes away, and people in the bungalow, they are in their siesta. So you see that how R.K. Narayan uses his typical writing style, and one of the most important qualities of R.K. Narayan's and his style is that he uses very simple, unique and colloquial type of atmosphere, which we know as res, milieu and moment. As I said in the beginning of my lecture, that he mostly shows the Indian people and Indian society. So here in the story, and the very first beginning itself, we can see that there is a cyclist. He rings his bell, but look at the word frantically. He does not ring his bell normally. He rings the bell frantically, means he has seen something. And what has he seen? He has seen a big cobra. And look at the dialogue by a cyclist, and he said that a big cobra has got into your compound. So this is a shout. This is one type of, we can say, an excited cry by a cyclist, and he announces. And soon after this declaration, look at the word, resumed his journey. So he just declared and he went out from them. So this is how the story begins. In the second paragraph, the family consisting of the mother and her sons, 4 sons, assemble at the gate in great agitation. The word agitation means a state of anxiety or nervous excitement. This is the meaning of agitation. In simple words, we can say worry. The family consisting of the mother and the 4 sons assembled at the gate in great agitation. The old servant Dasa. Now there is a, we can say that one by one the characters of the story, they enter. The beginning of the story was by a simple and unknown cyclist who just saw a big cobra, a snake, entering into the bungalow. He shouted, he declared, and he went away. But now, as we can see, that 4 sons and the mother, they have got together in an agitation, and the servant Dasa. Look at the contradiction. Look at the, you can say that the opposition between the emotions, that sons and the mother, they are in great agitation. But old servant Dasa was sleeping in the shed. He has no worry. He even does not know that the cobra has entered in the compound, and the people of the bungalow, they are out, they are shouting, they are agitated, they are worried. He doesn't know anything. He is just sleeping. They shook him out as his sleep and announced to him the arrival of the cobra. There is no cobra, he replied, and tried to dismiss the matter. First, let us have a meaning. As I said, the first meaning of agitation is a state of anxiety or nervous or excitement. Tried to dismiss the matter means to ignore the matter. As we can say that in the beginning of the second paragraph, there are 2 things to understand. First is that there is a sheer opposition between the emotions of the owners of the bungalow and the servant of the bungalow. The servant named Dasa, he is very, you can say that tension less, tension free, and he is sleeping, all unworried about the arrival of the snake. When Dasa, was not ready to accept, and he said that there is no cobra in the compound, immediately they swore. They means the people, 4 sons and the mother. They swore at him, swore means make a solemn or statement or promise undertaking, or to do something or affirming that something is the case, means to take an oath in simple words. So they swore at him and forced him to take an interest in the cobra. Now there is one more characteristic of our author R.K. Narayan. One by one these characteristics will be coming out, and I will be telling you. The second characteristic is that this is a comic story. So you have to find out the comic element in the story also. How, these characters, they interact, they communicate, their dialogues are very comic, and most of all the situation in which these dialogues are uttered and spoken. Cobra has entered into the house. That declaration was done by an unknown cyclist. Owners of the bungalow, they are also out, but Dasa, he is not ready to accept. And when this contrast, look at the other lines and the other words spoken by Dasa, as he said that the thing is somewhere here. If it is not found before the evening, we will dismiss you. Your neglect means the state of being uncared for, means he is not taking proper care of. That is called neglect. So now he is given a warning that the thing, if it is not found, the thing is somewhere here. The thing means the snack is somewhere here. If it is not found before the evening, we will dismiss you. Your neglect of the garden at the lawns is responsible for all these dreadful things coming in. Dreadful means causing or involving great suffering, fear or unhappiness, means extremely bad or serious. This is what dreadful means. In simple words, we can say dangerous. So they blamed on Dasa that it is your carelessness which has caused all such dreadful things coming in. And in between, some neighbors dropped in. Second comic element, as we know that mostly when the people in the house, they fight or they quarrel, mostly neighbors are very interested in such fightings and quarrelings. So immediately they take interest. Here also, when the owners of the bungalow and the servant Dasa, they are arguing against each other, Dasa said that there is no cobra, he is all lazy, he is still in the state of sleep. On the other hand, they blame Dasa. They warn also that if the snack is not found till the evening, he will be dismissed from the service of a servant. All these things are going on, and in between the neighbors enter. So this is the second comic element of the story, that suddenly the neighbors they are taking interest in this story. Now let us see what happens next. They looked accusingly at Dasa, and now there comes the dialogue. But just understand this line. They looked accusingly at Dasa. The word accusingly means indicating a belief in someone's guilt or culpability. Means the neighbors, they do believe that Dasa is responsible. They also blame Dasa, but they are not still occurring, or they are not still speaking a single word. They are just looking at him. That is why there is a sentence that they looked accusingly at Dasa, and then they speak a dialogue. Their dialogue is, "You have the laziest servant on the earth." Now the sentence that is in double inverted comma is a dialogue spoken by the neighbors, and the neighbors, they are speaking, they are delivering this dialogue, and they are telling these words to the owners of the bungalow. And they said that if there is any laziest servant on the earth, then it is your servant, and it is Dasa. And they said that you are the laziest servant. Second more comic element here again, that neighbors are taking much interest in the whole drama, in the whole story. Then they said that he ought to keep the surroundings tidy. Ought to, the word ought to is a synonym of should. So they said that he should keep the surroundings tidy. Tidy means clean. So he said that it is his duty to keep the garden and the surroundings clean. So much so that no insect, no reptiles, no dreadful things or no dreadful animals, dangerous animals like snake and others can enter in the garden. So now gradually and slowly the arrival of the snake is going to be a reason of Dasa's, or the result of Dasa's carelessness. Dasa doesn't know anything. How snake entered, and who declared, and why the people came out, and so on and so forth. Let us move ahead. I have been asking for a grass cutter for months. Now look at Dasa's excuse. Now it can be excuse also, and it may be reality also. We do not know. This is called an open-endedness of this story. What Dasa said then? He said that I have been asking for a grass cutter. Have been asking. This is a present continuous perfect tense. So he said that I have been asking for grass cutter for months. This is an excuse. Dasa said that in the absence of grass cutter, I am not able to take a proper care of garden, and I am not able to, cut the garden in a proper way. Therefore, I am not able to clean the garden. I am not able to keep the garden tidy and clean, and therefore, so he doesn't, mention all these things. He just says that I have been asking for grass cutter for months. Means now Dasa blames the owners of the bungalow, and he said that people have still not got me a grass cutter. In one voice. Now look at the other sentence. In one voice means simultaneously, altogether. So in one voice they ordered him to manage with the available things and learn not to make demands. So this is, we can say, a type of cold war going on between the servant and the owners and the neighbors. On one hand, there are 4 sons and their mother, 5 people. On the other hand, there are neighbors, means they are in plural, more than one at least. And on the other hand, there is only a single person, Dasa. So this is a fight going on.